Hello, hello, hello. As many of you know, I do design kits for the Disabled Artists Foundation, and I have a whole stack of them, so I'm working out the videos a little at a time. This one is everything you see right here, and I'm going to kind of show you how you can put it together. I know that there's always a junk journal kit out there somewhere. This one's a little bit different. These are my versions of the Tim Holtz things. I bought the rulers and I cut them and I drilled holes. Yes, I did. I did them myself. I even went and bought the bolts or screws or whatever they are and the wing nuts. So we're going to move these over here where they don't make so much noise. We're going to go through the kit, and it'll be in an envelope or a bag. This is your cover. This is part of one of the hanging file folders. And so that's our cover. This was in some stuff that CARE sent me out of all of our donations. When we had a lot, but not everything that you needed to go with it, she sent me the extras. And for that reason, I have some amazing stuff. And some weird stuff. Some stuff I've never used before. That will all come in time. Get it all used up. And this is just what's in the kits. We got some tickets. This is mostly for decorating. But if you want to put it as a page, that's cool. And a tag. A couple of time cards. And then an assortment of papers. We got lined. We got crunchy paper. We got a piece of graph paper, big graph. We have some lined paper, dictionary, some colored papers with lines, smaller graph paper, floral paper. This is part of somebody's homework. Part of a program for installation weekend of Pi Beta Phi, University of Maryland, College Park, Maryland. This is out of a medical book of some sort, so it's got some words I wouldn't even attempt. This really cool paper. I have it folded in half so that when I put it in whatever I put it in, it's easy. Another full sheet of paper in the crinkly tea-dyed look. It's printed that way. This is part of a stitching book. Some more lined paper and a piece of scrapbook paper times 2 or times 3. Come on. There we go. I'm sorry. I hope you've seen those okay. And the other one was keys. Oh, I forget about the pickiness of the cameras. So I'm going to set this aside. This is everything that's in the paper part of the kit. And then we have the rulers and the hardware. So, by the magic of television, I already have mine put together for the most part. I don't know if all the pages are different. I just go through my stacks. So, I think this is probably the front. So, I have a time card in here that I used the whole thing and I folded it up so that if I want to, I can stick the tag in there. And all of my papers have been cut to fit. Some have been folded up to give me more room or make a pocket. I decided to fold them up first, and then if I want to make a pocket, I can. And if I don't, then I can just cut them off or glue them down or whatever it is. But I have all the papers already in here, cut to the size and shapes that I want. So I will take them all and tap them down so they're all right there in the seam. And then I'm going to take my one ruler and center it on there. It's a little, some of them may be a little shorter. Like I said, these are all hand cut and hand drilled, so may not always be perfect, but they will match up. So I'm going to use this, and there is only two, and the reason this one is so much bigger is this is the hole from the ruler as purchased, as is this one, but I didn't want them that close. So I'm going to mark my spots, and I'm going to take my pages out very carefully, and I'm going to punch the holes through here. And you just need a regular old paper punch. Now, depending on how strong your hands are and how many you can punch, you can do more. Probably because I drilled all this other stuff, I could easily go out and drill them for myself, but yeah, I don't think I want to. So I'm going to punch them. I'm kind of going to still line that up. I'm going to use the ruler because it's not ever going to lose its shape. I am going to put it back up here again. And the holes aren't exactly straight, if you can tell by the ridges on here, because this one is on the second ridge and this one is just above it. But that is because of the holes being two different sizes. So just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and use this because this is with punched. Get them lined up where I want them, at least for this first one because it's a little narrower. Scooting them all in there. And I'm just going to make a mark. Again, lift it up carefully. Now I'm going to hold these all together and I'm going to punch this many. Hopefully I can do this many. Yeah, easy peasy. And I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull off all but the first one, or last one. And I'm going to go ahead and mark my holes. And then I'll peel that one back and set it over here to the side at the same in the pile with the others. And I'll save this last bit here, flip these over. It looks really crazy because they're not even, but I do really hope that they are even inside when we put the pages in. And actually, I'm going to move this one down just a smidgen, and only because my paper wasn't lined up perfect. But I'm going to do it with the punch. Because you know what? If it doesn't quite all fit, you got scissors. Saving the last one. I'm going to tap them all into place. Yeah, we'll see if this is too many. This is quite a bit, so we'll see. Yeah, double-handed punch, but I could do it. Now, your papers will not come punched. I know I do a lot of pre-prep on some of the stuff that I send, but these, I don't know what way you're going to do them, and that one didn't get punch, so we're just not going to include it right now. We'll use it somewhere. Let's get these out of the way and see if we can't stack these back up. And let's see if my plan worked. If it didn't, you'll never know because I won't share the video. So I'm going to take my ruler and put it in this way and this way. And I'm going to set them up here. And now I'm just going to put my papers on. Who out there is saying, the cover! Yeah. And I do have two different sizes of screws or bolts and wing nuts. These are the bigger ones. We bought all we could at Lowe's and had to go to the hardware store to get the rest of them because they didn't have any more. So, just going to put these in. And I am really messed up here. So, I got to figure out what I've done wrong. We will hold off and I will be right back. Okay, so I figured out the first culprit is that these, even though they fit in the hole of the bit, or not the bit, the hole that I drilled in the ruler, they're just too big. Your papers don't move, they don't have any flexibility. And then the pretty one that I've done that was way out of alignment, I just cut off the holes and I'm repunching it. And now it's on here and it fits. Because the holes, the screws are a little bit smaller, there's a little give in the pages, so you're kind of able to put them in. So now all you have to do is put your pages, and I did, okay, see that one's still a little bit crooked, but because there's some room in the everything up here, it'll be all right. And since you are going to have your rulers and the holes in them already, you'll be able to pick out. I did all my pages and then drilled the hole in the ruler, and so some of my pages aren't quite right for the ruler, and you know, you just play it by ear. Everything I do, I play by ear, so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If you have access to a drill press, that would be perfect. Clamp them together, take them out, and just drill them all down. I'm really, really a big fan of my drill press. I do have one in my art room, but it doesn't hold a bit big enough for this. And see, these are all a little bit off too. So what I think is that maybe they need to be flipped around. Maybe I have them on. Yeah. And that's what it is. My holes are definitely uneven, and so they need to go on here in that same manner, because one's a big hole and one's a little hole. And that one's still not right. So just so you know, this is how it's supposed to work. And I'm really good at making mistakes just like the rest of us. But you know what? You just figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, then you can just bring it over to your paper cutter. Cut it. I know that this one fits. So I'm going to line this up right there. And maybe this is what you need to do. Pick the hardest piece of paper in there, firmest, and use it to punch all your holes, and do them one at a time. So now they're in there. This one here is still a bit crooked, but it may just cut it off shorter and it'll probably be fine. Because I like the look and the feel of not all the pages being the same size. I think that's pretty cool. And this one and this one both were out of alignment in the cutting, so we're just going to trim them down so the holes don't have to make a decision of where to be. And pull this one off. Center. Boy, those are really off. We're going to just bring this one down a little bit. Let's see if it matters, because we can still make it a shorter page if we have to. There we go. Now, when I was playing with this off camera, I kind of come up with this thought that this coming back over might not be easy, but guess what? It really was. Now, if you put more papers in there than what's in here, you can easily cut this and have two pieces, which, you know, that's totally up to you on what you do. And then you put the top ruler on. And with these, and it's only the ones that have the hole from the ruler, like this one, you know, where it's bigger, because that's how they hung on the wall, you have to have a washer, or it just has too much rock and roll in it. Now, mind you that I have, and there's still, see, if you cut that green cover part, there's still plenty of room for you to put a ton more pages in it if you wanted to. This is my favorite part of wing nuts. Oh, come on, don't be slow and pokey this time. Well, so the other one went fast. This one's just being a little bit stubborn. So there we go. And like I said, there's plenty of room here. You can extend it out. And if the way they fit in here isn't good for you, you don't like that, which it doesn't really bother me, but I'm going to show you what you can do to fix that. And I've done this before, so it's not brand new. Now, this isn't perfect. And let's go ahead and undo these. See, I must not have the other one on perfectly straight, because they just spin around. And my husband made me a book press, and it has wing nuts on it. And I just love that. Who knew playing with nuts and bolts could be so fun? So I'm going to go ahead and take that off just to get that bulk out of there. Now, you can easily take your scissors and cut if you have the grip in your hands and you're okay with that, and you're willing to kind of chew on it for a while, for lack of a better word. But I took all the hardware off, and I'm going to lay the ruler right out against the cover part, and I am just going to cut until I've done them all. And it shouldn't take too long, because I put brand new blades in all my X-Acto knives. And yes, I have several, because I don't like to pick one up and have it be dull. So I have trimmed it. It's still not perfect, so we're just going to put this back over here, and I'm going to sliver it off again. And this is a good way to trim pages for any kind of book that you may have. And you can do the same thing on this side. I'm going to move my clamp over just a little bit so I have room for the ruler. And I don't know if my X-Acto blades are all so old or what, but the more I use them, the more often I have to tighten them. So there we go. You can tell I used glitter on this last, so everything's all pretty and glittery. Now, I am not going to cut this off because I'm not sure what's got folds and what doesn't, so I will go and do that individually, sheet by sheet. And we're going to go ahead and put this back in. Don't forget your washers, because if you don't have washers in your kit when you get it, you will not need them. But if you have them, then there's a reason for it. Now the big ones fit in there nice and snug, and you don't need the washers. But as we've all seen, they just didn't. The paper just didn't slide down over them, and you know, user error. And you can always do your decorations of your cover prior to your putting it all together. I prefer to have my wing nuts on the top, mostly because if they were on the bottom, then they would be in the way. And I'm sure that the original plan on these were shorter, but you have to do what you have handy. You know, if I was making the thousands of them, then I could go and get them made to my expectations, but I'm not. So there we go. And even though I lined it all up, it's still kind of crooked, but I think it'll be fine. I'm okay with that. And then I had a little bit of paper left over that I thought I might use to decorate. I had this laying on here originally, and I kind of like that, just simple. So I'm probably going to glue that on, but you can do whatever you want on how you want. And this page really is bothering me. So we're going to come in here, and I'm just going to fold it up for now. Let's see, it's out of the way. Tap that down. A little more trim in here, and I think we'll be quite happy with that. So there you go, a nice little fun book. And like I said, you can add and add and add to it. I mean, you could make it an inch thick if you cut your spine, and I think that would be so super cool. So I hope you enjoy, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.